Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. Disney Cadillac Rod and Customs. Today, or tow truck stuff. I got the kit to reseal this winch weeks ago, but I've been kind of procrastinating because, well, I've been procrastinating for more than one reason, but the big reason is because that sprocket has an Allen head set screw in it, and I could not get it to break free, so I've been soaking it with penetrating oil for about 2 weeks now. I feel lazy, so I should do something today. I think I'm going to try to get that winch apart and get it resealed. So let's get started, shall we? We got to start by removing my spare tire here because it's in the way. By the way, if any of my local friends have one 16-inch dually 8-on-6.5 wheel, I need it because this one is a split rim, so I don't want to use it, and I don't want to change the tire on it. So, and the proper size of this bolt, or this Allen wrench, is a 5/32. Get some. Now, see if that was enough heat. I don't think it was, but it might have been. Might have been tight. Oh, that was enough. Finally. Been trying to get that screw out of there for, like I said, 2 weeks. Good grief, look how long that thing was. This big fancy, heavy duty snap-on 2-jaw here. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to find out. Put you up here so you can look down at me, all condescending like. And don't stop anywhere, which is fun. I'm gonna have to get a pry bar to hold this in place. Okay, got my pry bar out. I think that should hold. Well, hell, I'll be dipped. It's working.
In my bike, just in case if they say yeah.
Okay, that was the biggest part that I was afraid of, was that pulley. And realistically, it wasn't that bad.
I know.
That
Wait.
thing's heavy though. I've got a couple of these old snap-on style 2-jaws, and I use the shit out of these pullers. They're so nice to have. It's one of the things, you don't use it often, but well, I tell you what, when you need it, pull your keyway out of there so you don't lose it. Also, or your drift, or whatever the hell you guys call these. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts here, and it looks like I can pop this side cover out. Let's get this this gear out of there. Look at the edge of these teeth. Man, some of these teeth are muffed up bad. But I don't have another one, so they're fine. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one there and one there, which I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver or something to clean all this gunk off of here. But that'll be easy. Okay, now let's get these bolts broke loose so we can start getting our way to get this cover off on this backside. I may be doing this wrong, but I can't see any videos or anything on how to do this right, so You know, I don't know how the hell this truck didn't catch on fire before, because this exhaust is just covered in the oil that's been leaking out of that winch. Somebody's lucky as before. There we go. You guys hear that? I am not the loud neighbor today, which is a weird concept for me because I'm usually proudly holding that crown, but not today. I don't know if they're running a pressure washer or a generator or what over there, but I'm not the loud neighbor today. Now, we've got our cover on the run, because like I said, I took 4 of the 6 bolts out. I need to clean all the gunk off of this shaft right here, because I think that's what's coming out with the cover, and it's not supposed to be. This gear is coming out with the cover. That's not good. I'm going to push it back in and take this bolt out and see. This may have just become way more involved than I thought it was initially going to be. Damn it, man. I don't want to take all the gears out of this thing. Might just have to do it, though. I guess. Go back in there. Did just realize that this big bolt that's on this side right here, I thought was like a... It's got a big washer attached to it, so you would think it's like a drain plug, right? Nope, it's holding a gear in right there, which explains why the gear was coming off with the side cover. Now, let's try this again. Hold your gears in and see if we can't just walk this cover off. There you go. There's your side cover, and you have 2 bearings in there. Whew, man, that was a pain. And again, it would not have been that bad had I been more willing to pull all this shit out. See, now I gotta get a magnet. I think I'll be able to just run this in there. Yep, just like that. Put this back on that shaft. Put it back in place. Maybe I'll think what I'll do is before I put all this back together, I'll actually pull that out and put it back on the side cover and then set it all back up into place. But for now, we need to just let it bleed for a while and take this, take a scraper, clean all the old silicone off the side of it, and make sure that the new gaskets and everything line up right and the seals are the right ones, and we'll put this side back together. So for now, here, we'll put a rag down. And just set that on the rag, because in here there's seals, and you can look. Get this damn glove off. My gloves are covered in oil. But you can look at these seals and see, like, there's a chip missing there. This one's all cracked and muffed out. So the seal, that kit that I bought did come with 4 seals. I believe it's 4. So we're going to punch these seals out and replace them. But as I said, for now, we're just going to scrape the gasket material off of this thing and clean up this outside edge a little bit because it's nasty. I should, since I have it apart, clean it all up and paint it, but then that means I have to paint the whole winch, and again, I don't want to do that. We're going to do that when I pull the cable off and I go to a rope and all that stuff. Then we're going to worry about that. But for now, we just need to clean this up and replace the seals. By the way, if you guys don't have one of these carbide scrapers, Motorski calls them super scrapers, but I just bought this one on eBay for like 10 bucks or something. These carbide scrapers are so much better than anything I've ever used before. If you don't have one, I recommend buying one. Also, check out what I just found. Ernest Holmes, the manufacturer of this tow bed, was awful proud of his stuff, right? Like, every piece of a Holmes bed actually says E. Holmes or Ernest Holmes or something, all the way down to the winch. The bearing is Ernest Holmes specific, so that's pretty awesome. Now that we have most of our gasket material cleaned off with our carbide deal here, I'm going to take a little wire brush and some of everybody's favorite, and I'll just wire brush this a little bit, get it completely clean, and then I'll show you guys how to knock off or knock seals out. Got her nice and clean, except that corner. Don't worry about that little guy. Just take, I'm assuming, based on the amount of silicone that I have found here, that the previous owner, that it had been leaking, which we know it's been leaking because we can see oil all over the exhaust, right? But the previous owner just pulled it apart and re-siliconed the side covers and just assumed that that would fix it. But the problem is these seals. That is going to be next. Now when it comes to pulling seals, you can get an actual seal puller, which I have one of those, and they work great for bigger seals, but these smaller ones, if you look down inside there, you'll see this lip. That's where the rubber, whatever, that's the outer ring of the seal, and I usually just take like a drift or a punch or something and set it right inside there, like this. Just walk opposite sides of each other. Ta-da! Mazel tov. There's your seal. Now, we got to go through the box that I got from Zips. So if any of you guys are looking to rebuild a Holmes winch, Zips is the place to go. Zips AW Direct or Zips.com. It's the only place I can find parts for a Holmes 440. Now, actually, they sell all kinds of tow truck stuff. They got rebuild kits for all kinds of tow truck stuff. They've got hydraulic stuff and PTO stuff and pretty much everything you could think of. Now let's see if this is going to fit. Dimensionally, that's the one. Give me a big old 30 mil. They make bearing specific tools, but I don't have those. Just like that. might be in a little bit far on that one side, but that's okay. You want them flush or just under. This one I had to do some work on because it looked like somebody took and muffed up that edge a little bit. So I had to take my emery cloth and straighten that edge up. Just like that, we've got 2 new seals. Now, we're going to take this, clean this up again, because them 2x4s are kind of dirty. Take our fancy new seal here. It fits on there perfectly. That way. And we're actually going to take a little bit of silicone to stick that gasket on there. Now you guys know I only use right stuff because it's the right stuff. So we're just going to take our gasket and set it down on there and then let this tack up for a bit. Kind of just tamp it into place here. That. Then we're going to let that sit. We're going to go over to the winch and clean up that mating surface and then get this prepared to go back together. Now, while we're waiting for silicone to set up, we're going to show you a lot of people got away from these old Holmes winches because they were noisy. And they're noisy because if you look in there, they are straight cut gears. They're not like spherical cut or anything, so it's very angry, shifting between in and out, you know, because there's no give. They're steel straight cut gears, so they're noisy. So a lot of people got away from it because they made too much noise. They were scary. Hydraulic sounds easier, sounds better, whatever, but I prefer these old straight cut gears because you can hear when they lock in. It's a guaranteed sound, you know. Now that we have our idler gear out, I gotta clean up some of this caca, but we're gonna set this back in the cover. This is all cleaned up and ready to accept a gasket. So, knock that off a little bit. So, like I said, I'm going to take and put a little bit of silicone on the back side of the gasket, put this in place, and then we're going to come back and line everything up and send it home. This bottom shaft here has this washer or spacer, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you don't lose that when you're screwing around with this stuff. I'm just going to soak up some of this oil that's seeping out so it doesn't compromise my right stuff. We are approaching the moment of truth. MOT. Now, before you put this all together, take a little bit of oil and dab around the inside of your seal, just so your shaft doesn't go in there dry and tear the seal up. Doesn't take a lot, but definitely do not put these things in there dry. Dapper there. That's a big dapper. I usually take a little bit and just smear it around on the shaft. Just, you know, right there on the end. For good measures. Bring our cover up in here. Come on. That one's in. See, it's trying to roll that seal on me. getting all these gears in here to line up was the fun part. Now, assembly is the exact opposite of disassembly. Got to pick all this up to get these bolts started up here at the top. Two. And like I said, once I get this all rebuilt, I'm going to take my pressure washer and clean all this old oil up out of here, just so I can keep an eye on it. If it is leaking, I can try to get on top of it, which probably means if it does start leaking, I'm going to have to undo all of this stuff I just did, but, you know, way she goes, boys. Sometimes it's just the way she goes. Almost forgot. Got to put our big gear back in there, but got to get our drift in there first. Just take your hammer. This one I can tell because down inside that hole where we pulled this out of, that drift has a groove in it from the bottom of our little bolt here, our set screw. So I'm just going to put it back in right on that groove. We're going to call this backside done. We get to move on to the front, which you can clearly tell which seal is leaking up here. Yeah, you can see the fluid moving in it, or coming out of it just when I move it. There's a what? Oh yeah, I know. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's fluid actually pushing out when I move that shaft. So this one's going to be fun because we have this big cover here that's got to come off first. I don't know what's in here, but we're going to find out together. Okay, we are back. Well, I am back, I should say. I don't know why I always say we in these videos, but for whatever reason I have one flathead screw here, and then 3 7/16 on this here cover. Well, in here, other than it being filthy, looks like some stuff's been cooked. Oh, I know what this is. This is the drum brake. That's what's in there. That explains it. So, I just gotta take this little screw right here loose, which I'm gonna have to go get a wrench for. Okay, got me a wrench. Now we're just gonna take this screw, or this bolt right here, out to loosen that brake off. That brake is all over the place in there. I'm learning all kinds of stuff about this winch since we're tearing it apart, though. Alright, some time has passed. I had to make some arms for one of my pullers in an attempt to get this bearing out, or this brake pulley out, because I don't have a puller that'll fit this. So I'm attempting to make my own arms pressing off a little crooked because I didn't cut the metal exactly right, but I was real close to the point of giving up today, so good thing this is working. Okay, had to do some adjustments on the tool. I think we got her now. Oh yeah, she's definitely running out. Come on, man. Ta-da! Now, in behind there are those flathead screws that we need to take out to get this cover off. Then we can pull that cover off finally. What a mess. Inside here, I said there was 3. There's actually 4. 2 of them are flatheads, and 2 of them are 7/16. So hopefully, this is all we have to get this thing off, because oh, yeah, bud. Look at that, huh? Wish I had 2 more of these bolts, because 2 of them were flathead screws, and I hate that. So, now that we're here, let's put all of our brake stuff to the side and start breaking these 9/16 bolts loose, which got all 6 of the bolts out, took the keyway out of my shaft here, which dropped down into my puddle of oil, so good job to me on that. Now we just need to walk it the rest of the way out. This side, same as the other side, except I knocked a bearing out, so I'm going to take it over to the vise and squeeze the bearing back in flush, and then we'll come back and change the seal. Bearing pressed back in, new seals, all the excess grease on the outside scraped. Now we just need to scrape all this old silicone off, and just like the first time, we're going to right stuff the gasket onto here, let it sit and set up for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we're going to slap it back on, and I'll bring you guys back when it's time to put it back together. Okay, got my new seals in, gaskets in. Now we're just going to slide all this stuff back together. Oh my God. Finally. Hopefully, yours goes better than that. I don't know what the tolerance issue is with that bottom bearing and that shaft, but whew, it's a pain. Okay, that's done. Now, just loosely based on the fact that everything in here was blue RTV, tells me that maybe from the factory, Holmes put them together with blue RTV. I don't know. If you know, please educate me. And that's it. the shift fork and everything all cleaned up. New seal is in place. Just need to make sure that it goes in the collar where it's supposed to go, which I believe it just did. Let's see. Now, the kit came with a big gasket for this deal right here, but I'm obviously not taking that off because mine doesn't leak. Well, now I gotta let that right stuff set up for 24 hours, and then I'll come out tomorrow and we'll throw some gear oil in that thing and see if it holds. Hopefully. That's gonna do it for today, guys. It is Easter Sunday, so I gotta go in and have some dinner with the family. We did all the Easter stuff this morning, but I decided I wanted to rebuild that winch today because I haven't put out a good video for a while, and from what I can tell, there is 0 videos on YouTube about these old Holmes 440 winches. So, if you have one and that's what brought you here, thank you. I'll be in a second. So if that's what brought you here, thanks for stopping by. If you're a regular customer, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. If you're not already, you should subscribe to the channel. We got all kinds of old tow truck content. Hopefully, we put it to work soon, and we'll be towing cars. But until I get my brakes fixed, we're not going to be doing anything with it. So, thank you again for stopping by. And remember, guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So, not knowing how to do something is only an excuse as long as you allow it to be, because I didn't know how to tear that winch apart today, but I don't have any leftover parts, so I think it's good.